God. Are we live? We're live.
Yay, I think we are. Let's
We're
see.
live on Instagram. Do you guys see us?
I'm gonna
When
go.
you join, please tell us where you're joining from. We're doing something completely different with Michelle, with AEM. This is so exciting.
Yay, I'm very excited too. I'm just gonna pop in so I can see the comments. And I'm not seeing it live just yet on our side.
It'll take probably a few seconds.
It will take a second.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
we're live.
It says that we're live.
We're live, so we're live then.
Do we need to see anyone on here, or do you guys see us? I don't think that we're gonna have any comments in here because this is not Instagram. So let's see.
I'm just waiting for it to pop up on my side so I can see it.
Uh-huh.
Do you see yourself? Let me see if 5 stars live.
No, it's not in ours yet. Oh, maybe we have to.
What? Exit to the. Is it?
Good. We got a little trial run first. Okay. See, it's new, so we have to have some technical stuff happen.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
На AEM? Посмотрите у нас.
Yeah, I'm on 5 star and I don't see it yet, and I'm on AAM and I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it yet. Come on.
Okay, I think we need to. Okay. So go live once your streaming software corrects and this. Okay, so we need to just
switch. Okay.
Quick adjustments. We need to go back to the Instagram.
Okay.
On the desktop. Do the same. Create live video. Click add title. It's PMU.
Oh, I see us on the computer. I can see our stream on the computer right now. Hold on, I can't share my screen. We're not on Zoom.
In Instagram, right?
It's but on the computer, remember that one screen where I copied the stream key?
Okay, just don't close it. That you're good. We need to edit the stream key. PMU. So once next. So copy. If you see yourself, that's a good sign. We need to move Instagram.
I'll text you what I see.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how it's supposed to be on your end.
Oh, I see the bit of a delay too.
Should we just go
live? It's supposed to be a delay. It's normal.
I'm just gonna let them know on AM that we're just a few minutes out.
Okay, we can see ourselves. So right now, click on the go live on the Instagram.
Okay.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, we are.
And you can see the comments.
We are live. Hi, everyone.
I'm just waiting to see it on our side.
This is so exciting.
Okay, people are joining.
Hello. When you join, please let us know where are you joining from.
Okay, I'm not seeing it on my end, but
look in that window that is?
Yeah, I see people live.
Do you see AAM live on your side? Hi, Carmen.
Are you guys? Let me see. Do you guys see AAM? We're doing totally new things right now, just so you know. We're doing completely a new thing right now. Do you see AAM?
I don't think AAM is live, but I think you're live.
AAM is live.
AAM is live.
AAM is live.
Okay.
Who is joining live from AAM? Please help us out, guys. Help us out. Tell us.
I love
this AAM account. Are you joining from AAM account right now? We need to know.
Let's see.
Hi from Chile.
All right.
Okay. I think we're live. AAM is live too.
Perfect. All right. Hi, Kristina. We are live. Thank you so much for helping out with this. This is amazing. And welcome, everybody. We're happy to have you here. Welcome to this Instagram Live. If you don't know who I am, my name is Michelle Ruckney. I'm president of American Academy of Micropigmentation, and I'm very excited to be here today to discuss, I think, a very important topic that artists really need to understand deeply. And I'm joined by the one and only Kristina Melnicenco. She's one of our board of director members. She's also the founder of 5 Star Brows. Many of you know who she is because you're joining from her account. But let me just say she's internationally respected. She's not only a trainer, but an artist and someone who brings an unmatched level of detail and integrity to the art of PMU. And many of you have worked with her, so you know that I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth on this. She's seen everything in her 16 years of being in the industry. She's seen all types of healed results. And that's why she's here to break down what's really happening after we put the machine down and once that healing journey begins. And I think PMU results are only as good as the healed results. A lot of times we see that fresh work and we think, oh, it's so beautiful, but what is the actual outcome afterwards? And there's a lot of misconceptions about PMU healing, wet versus dry, all of these different things. And I think that's why I'm extremely glad that Kristina is going to be here, or that is here today, and she's going to walk us through what artists tend to overlook and what's normal versus what's not normal, and how we can better support our clients through the full PMU procedure. So I'm going to give you the floor, Kristina.
Hi, everyone. So it's so interesting how still in our industry, there's this topic about which aftercare to use. What is there? Okay.
You're good on my side.
I'm good. Okay. So is this? Oh my gosh, there's new things. So guys, please forgive us if we feel like awkward, but we're trying new things. And whenever you're trying new things, that's how it is. But we're the pioneers. Michelle. So we're the pioneers. We have actually a presentation prepared for you too, with some case studies, case scenarios that we can talk about as far as like the healing process and the healing process results. So that's pretty much what we gathered here today. But in the industry, it's still interesting how in the PMU industry, after so many years, we're still debating which healing process we should go through, which one we should do, which one we should don't. Someone says one thing, another person says another thing. And it's just so interesting how that happens. So if you have any questions along, please let us know. But I've prepared the presentation for you guys here, and we're going to cover some topics, they're maybe controversial. Maybe some people think that dry healing is the only way to do it, or vice versa. No touching, no washing, no doing anything to the skin. It's the only way to do it. So we're gonna discover some of those case studies in here, and I would love to see questions from you. Can you put it on your phone? I would love to see questions from you. And Michelle, I don't see them, so if you see them, please read them. Okay.
I will. Yeah, I see some people from New York, but she's
perfect.
Colombian. I see a couple of people commenting. So
sounds good. Okay, so let's start the presentation. We're going to go through some brow healing process, eyeliner healing process, and lips. So let's go.
Also, if you tag us, you post this on the stories and you tag 5-Star Brows and AAM PMU board, Kristina is going to give you something special. You want to tell them what that is?
Yeah. So guys, if you tag AAM on 5-Star Brows, I'm going to be happy to send you my healing protocols for brows, eyeliner, and lips. And I have, especially for brows, I have protocols that are for humid climate and for dry climate. So you're going to be able to adjust it depending on where you are in this world. Okay, let's go. So first of all, we're going to keep this presentation short and sweet. So guys, you can go, for those that rewatch, you're going to be able to get all the way to the end. But let's speak about skin really quickly. I'm sure that you've seen this multiple times, but overall, the epidermis protects the dermis, right? So therefore, if the epidermis is broken, is poked, is you get a cut or any type of damage, right? And when we do the prompt makeup, we definitely produce some trauma to the skin. And the epidermis being the protective layer, now our dermis is under attack. Pretty much the skin over dries. The skin cannot regenerate very well. So if we don't do anything to help epidermis regenerate as fast as possible, then the skin is not going to heal the way it's supposed to heal. Like, you're not going to have good healed results. And the healing process is going to be much longer. Sometimes you ask yourself, why is your client at day 15, 20, they're still having their scabs on, or what's going on? Like, or they're starting having like skin problems and they report, itchiness or any other problems with the skin, is that the skin was not regenerating in the right way, and your healing protocol or your aftercare protocol maybe was not the one that you should be using. So let's just dive a little bit deeper into that. So I'm going to be covering some common mistakes that we as artists are doing. And in fact, when I started, I didn't know any better. So I honestly went through all the stages. I went through the stages of like dry healing because I was just taught that way, right? Then I went through the, don't touch, don't clean, and I actually experienced it myself. Don't wash, don't do anything. And I'll show you what happened. Then, you go through different ointments and you start understanding which one is good, which one is not. So I definitely, through the 16 years of experience, I went through all of them. Now, when we are going through dry healing, the problem is that the skin doesn't have the moisture that it requires in order for the epidermis to protect the dermis. So the skin is like in this kind of attack mode, and it's not going to retain pigment as you wish it will, because the skin is going to create a thicker crust in order to protect that epidermis, and that thicker crust is going to take some of the pigment that you introduced, because our goal is to introduce more shallow overall, right? Like, we don't want to deposit the pigment deep. Obviously, the deeper the pigment goes, the more it's going to stay. Do you agree with me, Michelle?
Yes, sorry, I turned my mic off just in case. Yes.
Yeah. If you at this stage have any questions, please let me know, but I'll just keep going. Anyway, so dry healing, in my experience, only may work if the client's skin is like super, super, super oily, right? And it has that oil, but sometimes we run into with dry healing, we run into infections and, build up of the skin and all that stuff. So dry healing, in my opinion, is not the best overall aftercare protocol, because usually it leads to loss of color. Let's go next. When it's too much ointment. right? So when you use too much ointment, you pretty much block the skin properties of like healing itself, because you apply just so much, the skin is not breathing. So it can lead to dermatitis, it can lead to different infections. And another thing, sometimes artists don't have a specific protocol on like what needs to be done. So then the client just overdoes the ointment, and then it leads to like multiple problems. So then you have this dermatitis starting around, and the pigment doesn't stay very well either, because of this, inflammation process going on in here. The pigment actually could migrate a little bit. That can happen too, which is the worst, right? Because if you made the brows like right here, the pigment could run a little bit around. The air, oh, they don't see it. Okay, never mind. So if you don't see the air, then I'm not gonna be pointing it anymore. Anyway, let's go next. Okay, so too much ointment, it's not the best option either, right? Like we need to find the balance. I will show you what too much ointment leads later on if the person doesn't stop, right? Like if they continue applying ointment, then you're gonna have all this crust from the lymph that builds up and the bacteria that is already spreading in there. So this client has to stop ointment like immediately. Another thing is that sometimes clients use too much ointment of the wrong ointment too. So they don't want to maybe follow exactly what you have mentioned, and they use Neosporin or other things that shouldn't be placed on the face for maybe too long period of time. So yeah, you have to be specific. Now, this is a picture of what usually happens when a client does not do anything, or doesn't clean at all. So it's like no touch, don't do anything. Sometimes it could lead to like buildup of bacteria, an infection going on in there. And again, this needs to be addressed ASAP, because then the inflammation goes into the eyes, and then it just leads to a bigger problem. So it's nice to be aware of those things. And in fact, I love to actually follow up with my clients and be like, hey, like how the next day, or maybe 3 days, like follow up with them, see how are they doing. Because sometimes a client thinks, oh, maybe that's the part of the process, and they already have an infection going on, or a process, or they don't follow exactly what you said. Maybe they didn't really hear you, or they lost their aftercare. That usually can happen too. I will show you what I do. I will tell you really quickly what I do for the aftercare for brows. And this is right after the procedure. So usually right after the procedure, I don't apply any type of ointment after the procedure, right after. Why I do not do it? So the client leaves with a clean skin. That I actually apply a little bit of numbing at the end of the procedure to close the skin, right? So the numbing is going to help reduce the inflammation, reduce the redness, take the blood away from the surface of the skin, and it's going to help with the healing process, actually. The moment you put an ointment right after the procedure, you are awakening the body, and you're telling the body that the wound is open again. So if the client lives with dry skin, then the body signals, okay, there is no open wound anymore, so don't bring that much lymph. The moment you apply ointment in the first 3 to 5 hours after the procedure, the problem with that is going to be is that the body signals the wound is open, is wet, bring more lymph to cover that. So then the client is going to have more scabbing, much longer healing process. Is just overall going to lead to less retention. So don't do that. So in the first day, you just did the procedure, clean the skin, and until the evening, they don't have to do anything. In the evening, it's nice to clean the skin, because during the day we sweat, we go outside, we have dust, who knows what our clients are doing after, right? Like maybe they have pets, maybe they can go and do other things, right? So it's nice to wash the skin, because once the skin is washed and clean, there's no really areas of the bacteria that they can sneak in and start spreading. And then an ointment, a very little bit of ointment is always needed because your skin needs that hydration in order to rebuild the cells, to build those and to recover faster, right? And let's go next. Okay, so this is pretty much the third day after the procedure. So how do I explain it to my clients? When we cut our skin, like when we get a scratch or when we get a cut, what happens? The skin rebuilds itself with lymph, right? Like it brings the lymph. The next day, it's darker brown, like it's not the fresh cut anymore. You have like a brown skin in there, right? So the brows will do exactly the same thing. The skin will oxidize, it will look darker. So tell them to not panic. They don't have to do anything. Another thing, sometimes clients don't wash and don't take care of the area because of the fear that they're going to lose the pigment. They're like, oh, I paid $800. I need to make sure that those eyebrows are going to stay on. Right, Michelle? And they're like, if I wash them, are they going to wash off? No, they're not going to wash off. It's like much deeper in the skin. So it's going to be all right.
I feel, sorry for interrupting you, but I feel like that's actually a misconception that some artists actually have. They think that if they tell their client to wash, that it's going to somehow wash off the tattoo. I mean, essentially, like, I think that's a misconception they have as well.
Yeah, but of course, like that would be a legitimate concern is if I'm a client and I paid $800 for my brows, that they will wash away. But you have to be the expert that knows all the ins and outs of how this works. So you have to ensure your clients that taking a good care and hygiene of the wound, because literally it is a wound. It is the primary, concern of theirs, because if they take care of the wound, the skin is going to heal very well. The skin is going to look good. And overall, the permanent makeup is going to look good too. So don't be that much concerned about permanent makeup. Be more concerned about the healing process and taking care of that process. Because if the clients don't, then they say that it's the artist's mistake. But anyway, so that's how I explain it. So when we cut ourselves, we have the wound, right? The next day it's brown. Now, when the skin comes off, what happens? Around that cut, we have like a pink halo, right? So that's baby new skin that is still in the recovery process. And I know that Michelle is going to cover about this later on a little bit. But anyway, I tell them that the brows can look like off color a little bit, slightly warmer. And then they go to their normal color within 2 to 4 weeks after the scabs come off, after the flaking ends. And then that's how the healed process looks. And actually, this is about a week or so, maybe like 8 to 9 days. So the brows are still kind of light color, and then they become more intense later on. Let's go into some lips. So what happens on the lips? It's kind of like whatever I just explained for brows. That exactly same thing will happen with the lips. So if we don't apply any ointment, the lips will be very, very small. They will dry out and you're not going to be able to even eat, smile. You're not going to be able to move your lips because they're going to crack. So for the lips specifically, because it's a completely different tissue, it's more mucosa skin type, right? So it's different tissue. It's a skin that tends to over dry and dehydrate really fast already. So applying no ointment on the lips will lead to patchiness. Applying too much ointment on the lips and not taking good hygiene and, I don't want to tell you what questions I have asked. I've been asked by my clients what they can and cannot do. I mean, you can just imagine. But anyway, so yeah, too much ointment, not good hygiene leads to various problems. So it could be, you could get, you could get an infection. However, you can also get cold sores around as well. But that's already not the aftercare related that much. These are actually my lips. So when I got them done, the artist told me to do nothing to them, to not apply ointment, to not do anything. They're just gonna go and heal by themselves. I can tell you that I had the most horrible healing process. It was almost 20 days. I had very heavy scabs. I couldn't open my mouth because, again, they were dry, so then they would crack. It's just horrible. And then in the cracking part, I would start getting, like a deeper wound because, I need to eat, I need to do things, right? So no ointment was a big problem, and it was not the right way. So you can see that, in some areas, like I retain pigment, in some areas is gone. So usually dry healing on lips is going to be a very long healing process. Your clients are going to struggle. I did. And the healed result is going to be patchy because the lip tissue retains very well if it's hydrated. Let's go next. So that's pretty much how like a healing process should look, right? They're a little bit swollen. The next day they're darker. Then third and fourth day, they're going to be the driest. I mean, starting with the second. But if the artist doesn't apply ointment, you see like in the second day, kind of like a little too dry. So an ointment needed to be applied. So you don't want to get to that dryness. And then in the third day, you can see that it's not really a scab. It's just like a layer of skin that exfoliates. So it's not like a scab that is a hard one that falls off. So that's pretty much how you should do it. Now let's get into the liner. I'm starting with the hardcore. So if the healing protocol is not followed by the client, they can actually lose their lashes. And it's true. It happened to a person that actually sent me this, and they're like, how did this happen? Did I apply too much pressure? Did I create too much trauma? And the answer is yes, that can happen because of trauma. But I asked her to send me a picture of right after, so I can see how much trauma it was, how it looked, were they bruised, were they like super swollen or anything like that, and it was not looking anything like it. So usually your clients are going to lose the lashes if they don't apply any ointment, if the aftercare protocol is not the right one, and if the skin is overly dry, it itches a lot on the eyes specifically. So then we tend to go and do this with our nails or other things. And then when you touch that scab, the skin on the eyes, it's pretty fragile, it's pretty thin. You can remove the scab with the lashes without even realizing it. So if the skin is going to be more hydrated, it's less itching, less dryness, so it's very less likely to happen. That's very less likely to happen. I mean, I have so many clients that I do eyeliner on, and I've never had that happen to me. So it's just the dry protocol, so that's not how it should be. Do you guys have any questions? Here is how the liner is pretty much looking at about day 3. I did a foxy liner here. Definitely could be a little bit more ointment used, but you can see that it's not like a thick scab. It's a layer of skin that is there, but it's not scabby, it's not cracky, it's not a lot of scab either. So when we overdo with the ointment, the problem with the liner is that it's going to get into the eye, create irritation, then you're going to start tearing, then the tears like moisturize this part. Just overall, it creates like kind of mucus type of scab that builds up, and then the clients don't do such a good job removing it, so then it can lead to also potential like infection. So when we do the aftercare with eyes specifically, I in fact always tell my clients to apply it in the crease. So in the crease of the eye, the ointment, not on the actual tattoo. So then when they apply it in the crease, it gently goes into the eye, and then towards the eye, and then it hydrates just in the right amount. Okay. And by the way, we're going to have a Q&A, right, at the end, Michelle? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okie dokie. I have just a little bit, Yeah. So do we have any other questions?
Okay, so
and by the way, just to remind for those that are joining, please tag AAM, take a screenshot. If we have our mouse open, then take another one, please. Take a screenshot, take AAM, tag 5-Star Brows, and post it, and I will send you my healing protocols for brows, eyeliner, and lips.
Okay, so we have a couple questions. So how do you advise keeping eyeliner? Okay, so you actually answered that question, keeping the eyeliner moist and staying safe for the eye. Is there a particular product that you like?
So I have my own balm that I created. It's called Power Balm. It doesn't have any pretty much what you're looking for. So I don't want to sound like I'm selling my own product. What you want to look for. A cream type of aftercare is not a good product. Why? Because you apply the cream and within literally 20-30 minutes it absorbed into the scab and it's dry again. So they have to reapply that way too often. You want an ointment type of aftercare and you want a breathable one, right? So you want the aftercare to be kind of like oily consistency that protects the skin, allows, protects it from dehydrating, but also is breathable. All right. So too much Vaseline and too much petroleum, like I don't like it because usually it seems to not, first of all, petroleum doesn't have any healing properties. It only traps when you apply it on skin, it only like allow it to not dehydrate, but it doesn't really heal anything. It doesn't have healing properties. So I would look for an ointment that has healing properties.
Okay, that's a really great point about the Vaseline. Vaseline is very occlusive, so there's absolutely no oxygen getting into that wound.
Yeah.
And also it just keeps that biofilm in there. And so it's kind of messy and prone to infection as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm understanding the brow aftercare correctly. You recommend starting ointment on the next day?
If the client's skin is very dry, even the day off, but at the end of the day, they will wash, they will pat dry. And if they feel tight, I always tell my clients to listen to their own skin. Their own skin is going to tell them, right? If the skin feels tight, then apply a little bit, but apply a little bit. If you feel like the skin is shiny, apply the ointment. If you feel it's shiny, in 5 minutes, take a tissue and blot it off because your skin already took what it needs and then you don't need the extras. And plus, if too much ointment sits on the skin, it all the dust and everything actually sticks to it.
Amazing. Okay. So a little jingle that I tell my clients, I say, when dry, reapply. So when they feel tight and itchy,
when dry, reapply.
Very, very dry. When you're
it.
dry, reapply. So they typically kind of like laugh about it, but it's true. Okay. Someone said that Power Balm is perfect. I gave it to my client after Foxy Liner and she was very happy in healing time. Is there anything you recommend as far as wash?
That's a very good question. So I actually don't like them to wash with anything else. I like if they keep using just one product. It really, because if they use multiple products, right? Like if they have a certain routine in the morning and then in the evening and they use this soap and this ointment or the other ointment, if a reaction happens, you don't know what they reacted to. Like they don't know what they reacted to. But if they wash just with water, maybe they use like a tonic or something like that within the same line or something, and then they use an ointment, then there is less possibility that they could be allergic to so many other things. So actually just water just works just fine. Because sometimes other soaps, they have, they have
acids.
Yes, they have acids, they have preservatives, they have perfumes, they have other things that an open wound could react to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what product do you recommend? You just said basically water. If you were going to recommend some sort of a soap, would it be something like a Cetaphil, something really, really limited in ingredients, or like a Dr. Bronner's?
To be honest, just water.
Okay.
Just water.
Okay, I think that's all the questions so far. For liner, how often do you apply in the crease until flaking phase has ended?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So pretty much they apply until the flaking phase ended. They can actually apply it even after, because if the flaking ended, that doesn't mean that the skin is healed. It's still in a very active healing process. And in fact, we have two scabs. We have our main one, and then after the main one is done, we're going to have very light shedding, which is our second scab actually. So it's nice to just keep reapplying even a week or two after, but it doesn't have to be that often, but it would be nice just like once or twice a day.
And the eye does a really good job of moisturizing, especially with the lash line itself. The eye also helps with that process. I feel like that's one of the reasons why eyeliner heals the fastest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. See, any other questions for Kristina? I agree with you on the wash. Wash only with distilled water. I mean, yes, I think it's important not for them not to just take it out of their sink and just wash with just sink water, or try to have distilled water. Okay. One of the things I wanted to just briefly, we don't have to show the graphic, but I wanted to talk about the misconception of dry healing, because I remember that being kind of a thing when I started as well. And I just wanted to talk about how important it is that we guide our clients through this healing process, because it's going to make or break the results. Again, hygiene is super important. I think it's really important to tell your clients that they must have clean hands, because they're touching, you can't expect them to go buy gloves and treat it the way a wound would be treated and in like a medical setting.
But just like washing your hands.
Clean hands, make sure that, some people, and I learned this later because I don't have straight hair, but straight hair, you can go many, many days without washing your straight hair. Curly hair needs to be washed a little bit more. And so sometimes, I remember having a client who really didn't wash her hair for 4 or 5 days and then had her hair in her face. And, those are some things that you need to also take into consideration when you're talking to your clients, when you're making your aftercare cards, when you're advising them. Make sure that there's, these things like dirty hair, dirty hands, that means bacteria, that means so many possibilities of infection, and it's just making the situation worse. But it also can disrupt your pigment retention. It can have so many different effects on it. Causes inflammation. Inflammation, we know, is not good. That's more blood cells coming into the skin to try to basically fight this infection. And you just don't want to have that poor healing. And so the goal really is to protect the wound, make sure the wound stays clean and not suffocating it, so that you're not over applying these occlusive ointments. And also you're not letting it dry and crack, like you mentioned with your lips, because that creates a whole other issue, is like, those cracked lips. That could lead to a cold sore, and it could lead to so many other things.
That's horrible.
And something that I learned when I was researching, we did a wound series at the AAM, one of our webinars, a couple months ago, maybe like 6 or 7 months ago, with Nurse Nancy. And there's like this debate about dry healing, wet healing, all of those things. And I think it's really important to understand the science a little bit behind it. Now, I'm not a medical professional, but I do kind of find it fascinating to kind of dig deeper and learn more. And so when you think of dry healing, you have to think of the word desiccation. Okay. So that just basically means dehydration. And like you said, when it's dry, it's lacking moisture. And in PMU, what does that mean? That means thick, hard scabs, uneven shedding, like you showed in that picture, patchy pigment, increased loss of pigment, texture issues. And
probably could even lead to like scarring the skin. Like the skin doesn't just build the way it should.
Exactly. It'd be like leaving someone at a hospital. I know I'm giving you like an exaggeration, but if you left them in a hospital with an open wound and said, oh, we're just going to let it take care of itself, that wound's going to get worse. That wound could take way longer to heal compared to when you're treating it, when you're cleaning it, when you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do in wound care. So controlled wet healing, I think, is kind of what we're talking about, because it is controlled. You're cleaning the area, you're applying a thin layer of, breathable barrier or, ointment, and then also keeping it protected from makeup. I think it's important to
makeup is another big thing.
Makeup, environmental exposures, bacteria, all of that stuff. You use the same sponge the whole year without washing it, and then she's putting it on her brows. You have to be really careful and educate your clients on that as well. And so I think keeping it, optimally healed will for sure help with that regeneration and that color retention and all of those things. So I just wanted to talk about that, because I think people don't understand sometimes why dry is not the way to go. It takes much longer. You can actually look this up on YouTube. You'll see a wound healing just dry. It takes like double the amount of time for it to heal than it is when it's correctly treated and correctly, you know,
Obviously, we don't have to overdo things, but like you said, correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. How do you clean the liner daily after ointment?
So just wash with the water. And ideally, if they wash like underneath the lashes and on top, let's say right here and here, because they will remove all the lymph buildup. And also, when we apply ointment, again, if you apply directly on the work, then you're gonna have to do more washing, unfortunately, because that ointment can trap multiple things, can trap and actually, if it's too much ointment, you can get more lymph, coming out and all that. But if you put it in the crease, that's not going to happen.
Perfect. Okay. Yes, clean, dry, and moisturize. Okay. Wait, there was somebody else. One more time for lips after care.
Lips after care. Okay, so they need to be hydrated all the time. And so it doesn't matter what you do, like you brush your teeth really quickly, and then you pat them dry, apply ointment. You eat, wash them, so there's no food or anything, apply ointment. So ointment all the time. Don't allow them to dehydrate. And again, if you use and I would not suggest like chopsticks or anything like that, because sometimes they have colorants, they have fragrances, they have preservatives, so it may not be like the best combo for like a good healing. And usually lips take like 3 to 4 days. I mean, that's the maximum. 3 days and they're exfoliated. So it doesn't, you don't have to apply that ointment all the time for too long of a time. Like it's not like 10 days. That would get old, but like 3 to 4 days, just manage to hydrate them all the time as much as possible, and then they will heal pretty fast. But of course, like again, don't overdo it. Just like you applied, you feel like it's gone, reapply again. Just like if it's dry, then reapply. I love that.
When dry, reapply. Okay, she says I agree on the lips, and then power balm. So you would use power balm for the lips as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they use it for all three, for brows and liner lips.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So the only thing that I kind of do a little bit differently is I have some clients that are kind of germaphobes. And so sometimes they don't just want to wash with water. And also if they're extremely oily. Like a cotton? Yeah. So what typically what we'll do is, there's certain soaps that are safe for like cosmetic procedures, med laser procedures, things like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but using a very, very gentle soap is not going to erase what you've put on there. Absolutely. So if somebody has a tendency for, or impaired healing, or maybe they're diabetic, or you're treating someone who just is the germaphobe, instead of letting them pick their own soap and maybe using something that has salicylic acid in it or glycolic, or, retinol, all of these things that could definitely change the pigmentation and the color, I tell them, okay, you can use these soaps. These are safe, like Cetaphil, or like a very gentle Dr. Bronner's mixed with distilled water. So in that situation, if you find that somebody is, a little bit more germophobic, which I get it, or they're having more issues, you definitely can.
Or they're very prone to get an infection.
Yeah, you definitely have that option. Not just, you don't be afraid to tell them, because it's not going to delete what you've done. It's not going to erase it. It's there to stay. If you've done it correctly, it shouldn't go anywhere. And so don't be afraid of that as well. Now, don't forget, if you tag and share on Instagram, tag AAM PMU board, as well as 5 Star Brows, Kristina is going to send you her aftercare healing, her procedures. So you do that. And do y'all have any other questions? Do you have anything else to add, Kristina?
No, I think we covered a lot of information.
We did.
Yeah. I hope that now we're going to be able to save this live so everyone else can watch this.
I know. All right, Eugene.
How did you guys enjoy our new format and the way we did it this time with the presentation and everything? Did you guys enjoy it? It's completely different.
It is. I haven't seen it yet. That's amazing.
Do you put eye drops before procedure inside eyes? I don't. I don't use any type of medicated drops. I use only cysteine. If I need to hydrate the eye or wash the eye during the procedure, at the end of the procedure, I use cysteine. However, I don't use any other medicated drops, or I don't use Lumify to make the eye look lighter, and I don't use any of those because I want to minimize the products that I use in order to understand if a person is allergic to something. I know that, hey, like cysteine is just literally water. It's just saline, so you cannot really be allergic to that.
Okay, someone's asking.
You just need to take a screenshot and put it in your stories. Tell everyone what you learned, how amazing it was. Tag us, tag AAM and 5-Star Brows, and that's it.
Perfect. Now, also, if you are here and watching, we have some people in here still, which is great. We are planning something very exciting, an in-person AAM event, you could say, retreat, you could say, masterclass. There's so many different ways we can name it, but something super intimate, and it's going to be focused on the technique aspect, as well as marketing, mentorship, motivation, inspiration, all of those things. So I'd love to know in the comments, which technique would you want to learn more about? Because there's so many different techniques. I know, Kristina, you are a master of all of them. I've learned techniques from you and also do a lot of the different techniques. And we want to invite some other trainers who specialize in whichever technique, one specifically, and then we're going to go into business. So if there's something that you want to learn about,
which technique, it's super important for you to learn right now in such a setting.
Yeah, because if you're just doing brows, you have to expand that. I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Sticking to brows for such a long time was my biggest mistake. Of course, I don't say go and jump onto something else if you haven't mastered the brows yet, but you should be offering other services. It's just imperative for that recurring revenue, but also for your existing clients. You're doing them a disservice by not offering more services to them.
Yes, agreed.
So, okay.
Someone said eyeliner. I wish to learn.
All right, microblading, nano, liner, nano. Okay, what prenum do you use for eyes for smoky line?
What prenum do I use for eyes? I use Feel Better Now right now.
Feel Better Now, okay. Mm-hmm. All right, I just sent a phone number. Somebody was asking. Where and when is this retreat? Oh, good question. So it's going to be in March. We're kind of ironing out the details. What we want to find out from you and from AAM audience, from 5-Star Brow audience, what technique. We want to iron all of that out, and then we will have the location and we will have everything for you. But it's going to be central. It's going to be somewhere in Texas.
Easy to fly to.
So people can reach it. You know what I mean? We're not going to do it on the West Coast or the East Coast. It's going to be right in the middle. So everyone can come and have an easier travel day. It won't be a whole full day long, you know, those kinds of things. And also Texas is, I feel like, very affordable. So
yes,
keeps all 100%. The extra costs down. So
yeah, it's not like New York or California. Super expensive.
Or Miami, those kinds of places. So we're trying to make it accessible, but also extremely jam-packed with information and education, and something that you've never seen before. We're going to do it here first. So I'm very excited. Let us know if you'd be interested. Give us some hearts, or raise your hand if you'd be interested in joining us. I see someone said eyeliner and shadow. Yeah, I like the eyeliner idea too. All right. Well, thank you all for being here today. I want to just a huge shout out to Kristina. You're so amazing. Thank you for your insight. Healing is just one of those most critical, misunderstood pieces of me. And
100%. But it's so important, right? If it's like done wrong, then your work is kind of jeopardized. Like, like your work may not heal exactly the way you want it to heal.
Yeah. And when artists, understand it better, then they can deliver better results. And then it creates that trust with the clientele.
Yeah.
I just want to say really quickly, if you are not part of our channel on Instagram, please join our channel for these live events, as well as we do Wednesday webinars on all different topics. It's open to the public, and the replays are for our members only. So if you want to get reminders, you can text the word webinar to 310-634-1998. I'll hopefully have the recording to this and I can put that in the caption. But we try to do as much as sorry.
Let's pray.
I'm hopeful that what we try to do at the AAM is really just build on education and give as much as we can, and also create that sense of community with all of our members. So we hope that you enjoyed our webinar. And again, thank you so much, Kristina.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking the time.
Amazing. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.